the last video for our project number 1, dynamic features, the second part. All right. In this one, we want to look at how do we get data from Servlet. Actually, we did this before. Here we just repeat it another time. Yeah. Because when we get a problem data, we did in this way. Here, let us just, continue from that way, but let us do a little more. Yeah. All right. So first, let me recall how we did it when we get a problem data. Yeah. So let us recall first. All right. How to get problem data, right? Get our problem data. All right. So we use DAO. Yeah. So we use problem DAO in Servlet. All right. In Servlet, do get, right? Yeah. So do get Servlet. Yeah. Then we call our query method inside that DAO object. Yeah. So get data. Get data from that query method. Yeah. After that, put it in the request scope, right? Yeah. Put it in the request scope. What is request scope? Scope concept. Scope concept. We can store data in different scopes. Yeah. For Servlet, we can store data in 3 scopes. In Servlet, we can store data in 3 scopes. Request scope, session scope, and application scope. Yeah. But in JSP, one more scope, page scope. In JSP, yeah, page JSP. Because the Servlet does not have the JSP, does not have the page concept. For a Servlet, there is no page concept, right? But for JSP, there is a page concept. Yeah, so there is a page corresponding to that Servlet. So there is a page scope. One more than the scopes for the Servlet. Yeah. All right. But here we use the request scope. Set attribute, get attribute, right? Yeah. Yes. All right. So that is, but in JSP, last step in JSP, retrieve and display. All right. The data, yeah, let's just call it data display. All right, so that's the recall part. All right, that's how we did it for the problem data, list problem data, that data, right? All right, now let us do the same thing. Okay, yeah. We want to get the number of problems in the problem table. Yeah. So first, because we already have that problem DAO object, right? Yeah. So we already have it. We have that problem DAO object. Let's say prob DAO reference. Okay, yeah. First, we already have it. Yeah. Then we use it to get the number of problem or problem total number. Okay, all right. So here, let me just use this way. Integer, we need an integer variable, right? Yeah. Total prob variable name. Yeah. Suppose we get a variable name. Yeah. Prob DAO dot get problem total method call. Okay, all right. Yeah. So the first step. Second step, store it in the request scope. Store it in the request scope. Yeah. Set attribute. Yeah. Request dot set attribute. When you set attribute, you need to give an attribute name. Okay, here let us just double quotes total prob. Yeah, we can use the same name and attribute value. Yeah. Attribute value here, this integer. All right, actually the second parameter of that set attribute supposed to be object, but here we put the integer directly, then the Java will convert it to its corresponding object, capital integer. All right, so we do not need to do it manually by ourselves, so that's automatic conversion. Yeah, so then we can save some coding. Yeah, although very simple. Yeah. All right, so set attribute. Yeah. So then the page flow list.jsp. Yeah. The step 3 in list.jsp, we need to retrieve the data and the display from request scope. Yeah. How do we do it? Yeah, we did similar thing before. Yeah. Here we just repeat similar way here. All right. Let us use JSP expression. Yeah. Equal. All right. Then get the data. To get data from the request scope, we use implicit object, request implicit object. Okay. Yeah. Get attribute. All right. Then the name of the attribute. All right. Yeah. Total prob. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Close it. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Close it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's all we need. Yeah. So we retrieve the data and the display. Yeah. So the 3 steps like this. Now, let us go to those 2 files. Servlet file first. Yeah. So do step number 1, step number 2. Then we move to list.jsp and do step number 3. After that, we test it and see what happens. How about that? Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's do it. Yeah. All right. So let us bring up that Eclipse. Okay. Yeah. Still in the same project I show you. Yeah. But this time I need to bring up that list math servlet. Yeah. This class. All right. After that, look at here. What do we need to do? Yeah, so DAO, all right, yeah, we have that. Yeah. Look at that. So we have problem DAO, yeah, All right, constructor. After that, let us add another. All right, yeah. Integer total prob. All right, you can use your own name if you like. Yeah, prob DAO dot get problem total. Yeah, this one we need it. All right. After that, put it in request scope using the set attribute, but this time we like to use different attribute name, total prob. All right, and our data part, so it's an integer total prob, right? So here you can see no error, right? Although the second parameter supposed to accept object value, but here we have a primitive data type integer, but it will be converted to a corresponding integer object directly. So you don't need to worry about that. You just put your integer variable there. All right, yeah, we save it. Yeah. So you can see step 1, step 2 are done in the servlet. Next, let us move to step 3 in list.jsp. Yeah. So in this list.jsp, all right, yeah. So we continue from the previous D.5, D5, part D5 from that version. Yeah. But here, because we get data from request scope. So here you can see we don't need this Java Bean. We do not use it. Okay. So we do not use that DAO Java Bean. So we don't need it, right? Yeah. So the constructor here, we don't need it. Yeah. All right. Now this part, yeah, because this part, we get data in a different way. Yeah. The way we get from request scope, right? Yeah. Request dot get attribute. So do we have that get attribute thing? Get attribute. All right, so then attribute name, yeah, request dot get attribute, yeah, total prob. All right, yeah. Okay, JSP expression here. Oh, so what's that? What error? Request. What is this error? Here, it looks like we have some problem. Yeah, to get around it. Here, let me use another simple way to get around the previous problem. Yeah, we want to retrieve data from the request scope, right? Yeah. Here you can see I remove that. You know what line? Yeah, let me show you. Yeah, that get our integer from the request scope, get attribute way, right? Yeah. Although we can do that, yeah. Here I use a different way. Yeah, because to get data from the request scope, there is another simple way. This expression. Look at that. What's that? Yeah. I haven't talked about that, but we will learn this in our next module. We will learn it. All right. Dollar, a pair of curly braces. This type of special expression called EL technology. So what's that? Expression language. JSP, expression language, EL. Here, it is our first time to use the expression language. How to use it? All right, so here, let me give you the simple way. We know we use set attribute to store the problem number total directly in the request scope. Okay, we have attribute name tot, T-O-T, prob. All right, so now when we want to retrieve it, we use EL, $, a pair of curly braces. Inside the curly braces, we put the attribute name here, tot prob. All right, yeah, here, yeah, just that, yeah. In order to see, we use something different, yeah. Here, let me just put a parenthesis, use EL, yeah. Try to see, we have something different in this version. So I put the parenthesis to show us it's different, yeah. Now, let us run this example, yeah. So we can see we retrieve the same problem number, but this time we use a completely different way. Yeah. So let me run it. Yeah. All right. Run the project, whole project. All right. Finish. All right, so you see the total number of questions, we use EL, right? We use EL, right? Yeah. H2, it looks like it is a block element. So we need to change a new line, right? We need to change a new line. If we do not use H2 tag, if we use some span inline tag, yeah. Here, let me just modify it, yeah, because we can quickly modify. Let us change H2 to span. Yeah. If you have some CSS knowledge, then you can use it here, span element. We know span element is an inline element. Inline, same line. Yeah. H2, that's a block element. You have to start with a new line. Yeah. All right, so we save it, right? Then let us get here, refresh the page. Yeah, see, inline, same line, right? Although the font looks smaller, if you want to make the font larger, you can do it, use CSS. Yeah. All right, so let me stop our last video and everything about dynamic features for project 1 completed here. You just use, for those students who want to get this part done, you can use Monday, Tuesday to complete it. All right, yeah.